Keiser.
Here.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Here.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Severino.
Please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we start the meeting today, I would like to have a moment of silence for J.D. Herrera, 17-year-old Glenbard North senior that passed away recently in a car accident. So if you just give me a minute of silence, please. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve our minutes of our August 19, 2019 special workshop?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee
McCarthy.
McCarthy and seconded by trustee Zalick. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Keiser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of our August 19, 2019 village board meeting?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Swarzy, seconded by trustee Geezer. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Keiser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Okay. Under listening post, we have proclamation September National Preparedness Month.
Thank you. This is a proclamation proclaiming September National Preparedness Month. Whereas National Preparedness Month is an annual education and awareness campaign to empower Americans of all walks of life to increase their preparedness capabilities for the host of natural disasters common to their region, as well as for acts of terror. And whereas in a widespread disaster, home and business owners are asked to be prepared to be self-sufficient for the first 72 hours while first responders complete their damage assessment and formulate a detailed response plan. And whereas home and business owners' efforts to increase their preparedness capability has proven successful in reducing disaster-related injuries, fatalities, and minimize property damage. And whereas the theme of this year's month-long preparedness campaign is Prepared, Not Scared, and a number of educational resources are available from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's preparedness web portal, ready.gov. And whereas the three critical preparedness measures that most impact a homeowner's preparedness level includes purchasing and stocking a disaster go kit, developing a family emergency plan, and purchasing a portable weather radio or downloading a digital application for your smartphone. Now therefore be it proclaimed that Mayor Frank Savarino Sr. and the Carroll Stream Board of Trustees, DuPage County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule powers, does hereby proclaim September 2019 as National Preparedness Month in Carroll Stream and encourages all residents and business owners to participate in National Preparedness Month by restocking your disaster supply kit and conducting a drill of your home or business emergency plan.
Thank you, trustee Swarzy. Let's see what we have next. Any addresses from the audience? No addresses? Okay. So we will go right into the, is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee LaRocca, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Keiser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read what is on the consent agenda?
Certainly. Under Board and Commission Reports, number 1, Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals, A 19-0014, FIC America Corporation, 485 East Lees Road, Special Use Permit for Outdoor Activities and Operations, Installation of AC Units, Zoning Code Variance to allow a structure in the front yard. Recommend approval with conditions 7-0.
Yes.
Yes.
B, 19-0015, 505 East North Avenue. Hopewell Services, 505 East North Avenue. Amendment to a special use permit for outdoor activities, operations, parking, and storage of vans. Recommend approval with conditions 7-0.
Yes.
C, 19-0019, Community Consolidated School District 93, 283 El Paso Lane. Special use permit for a school building addition. Recommend approval with conditions 7-0.
Yes.
Yes.
D, 19-0020 JT Corner Tap and Eatery, 1022 Fountain View Drive, amendment to a special use permit for a restaurant with a bar area, restaurant expansion.
Yes.
Recommend approval with conditions 7-0.
Yes.
Yes.
Under staff reports and recommendations, number 1, award a contract for purchase and delivery of LED street lights to City Electric Supply in the amount of $40,042.76.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 2, purchase of AMRs for the AMR replacement program from Midwest Meter, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $113,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 3, vacant lots on Surrey Drive.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 4, 2019 pavement marking project, change order number 1, final payment to Superior Road Striping, Inc. in the amount of $31,291.22, and acceptance of the 2019 pavement marking project.
Yes.
5, award of contract for 2019 drainage improvement project to Landmark Contractors, Inc. at the bid unit prices submitted of $156,961.
Yes.
Yes.
6, Kehoe Boulevard Stream Bank Stabilization Project, Section 1, award of contract for professional engineering services for construction documents and grant application assistance to Hay and Associates, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $46,800 on a time and materials basis.
Yes.
Under ordinances, we have ordinance approving a special use permit for outdoor activities and operations, HVAC units, in the 1 industrial zoning district and front yard variations, FIC America Corporation, 485 East Lies Roads.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2019-9-30. Number 2, ordinance approving an amendment to a special use permit to allow for activities and operations in the form of van parking, 505 East North, Inc., Hopewell Services LLC, 505 East North Avenue.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2019-9-31. Ordinance approving a special use permit for a school, Community Consolidated District 93, J Stream Middle School, 283 El Paso Lane.
Yes.
That's ordinance number 2019-9-32. Ordinance approving an amendment to a special use permit for a restaurant with a bar area, JT's Corner Tap and Eatery, 1022 Fountain View Lane.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2019-33. Under resolutions, resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Carroll Stream and the City of Wheaton for disconnection, annexation, and revenue sharing for parcels to be redeveloped at the northeast corner of Geneva Road and Schmale Road, 2201 North Main Street, Wheaton.
Yes.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3105. Number 2, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a master license agreement for the co-location, sorry about that, for small wireless facilities located within the municipal rights-of-way, Chicago SMSA Limited Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless.
Yes.
That is Resolution 3106. Under new business, number 1, raffle license application, Carroll Streams Women's Club.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 2, sound amplification permit and raffle license application, Carroll Stream Police Department.
Yes.
Yes.
Under payment of bills, regular bills August 20, 2019 through September 3, 2019.
Yes.
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 Number 2, addendum warrants, August 20, 2019 through September 3, 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved by trustee Giesers, seconded by trustee McCarthy. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve those items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Swarzy, seconded by trustee Zalick.
Frusaloni.
Frusaloni.
Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Report officers. Mr. LaRocca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All I have this evening is just saying some prayers for the coastal residents in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, and praying that our hurricane friend takes a turn out to sea and nothing else is damaged. And that's all I have.
Thank you, trustee LaRocca. Trustee Gieser.
Thank you very much. Just want to mention a couple things happening in the community. This Saturday, there's a number of things going on, but I'll just mention one of them. There will be a Remembrance Day at the St. Stephen Pioneer Cemetery. That's on St. Charles at Main Place, right basically behind Caputo's, around that area, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you'd like to see an old Pioneer Cemetery, which is right in Carroll Stream, come on over and take a look at that. Also on Saturday, September 14th, the Carroll Stream Historical Society will be holding their country fair at the historic farmhouse on Lee's Road. That's from 10 until 2. Hope to see you there. And on a personal note, if you're not exhausted from watching the Bears game, you can lay in bed and listen to me on the radio. I'll be on WGN Radio that night around 1:15 in the morning to 3 a.m. in the morning, playing all your favorite football players singing music. So,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
yes. So it'll be a fun evening of listening to Walter Payton sing, so you never know who you're going to hear. So that's my report.
Thank you, trustee Gieser. Trustee Swarzy.
Thank you, sir. Just express my condolences for the family of J.D. Herrera. Thank you for having a moment of silence in that, for that remembrance. On October 5th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we have a couple events in town. One is the Carroll Stream Fire District Open House at Fire Station 28, 365 Coon Road. There'll be lots of fun things to do, lots of food, lots of fire safety activities. We're going to do a rappelling event where one of our firefighters will be rappelling off the 95-foot ladder, which will be raised up into the air. Of course, balloons and Sparky will be there. And also the Water Reclamation Center's open house during that same day and time, October 5th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Mr. Modaf, you mind sharing some of the events going on that day?
Sure, we'll have the several organizations back. The library is always very excited to show up and bring along some educational books. Conservation Foundation, Space County Stormwater, ComEd. We've got some new features this year. Bloomberg Wildlife will be there. While they won't have any animals to bring because most of them are being cared for and they don't want to traumatize them. We will also have an agency that kind of feeds into them that rescues birds, strictly birds that anywhere from out here to Chicago that they fly into buildings or get injured in some fashion to educate the residents on if you find the birds, you can call this agency, they'll come out and they deliver them to the local wildlife. And some other exciting features that I'll leave as a surprise.
Thank you. And of course, the highlight is the tour of the water treatment plant. So, and the hair, I guess. So, thank you very much, Mr. Modaf. And then I just want to remind the residents, continue to shop in Carroll Stream. Thank you very much.
Thank you, trustee Swarzy. Trustee Zalick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to start out with Hurricane Dorian being right on Florida's doorstep. It's kind of fitting that we proclaim September National Preparedness Month because every hurricane or tornado reminds us how strong Mother Nature is. So it's always important to be prepared. Also, my thoughts and prayers will go out to the family and friends of J.D. Herrera, who tragically lost his life in that traffic crash last Friday. On Friday, September 6th, Western Trails PTA will host its annual ice cream social on the Western Trails School Playground. And finally, on Saturday, September 7th, the Carroll Stream Police Department and Windy City Jeep Force will host a charity Jeep show to support Special Olympics. Come out for food, music, raffles, and view some pretty cool Jeep vehicles that will be on display, and of course, admission is free, so you can't beat that. So with that, that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Zalick. Trustee Frizzaloni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to offer my most sincere condolences to the Herrera family. I can't even imagine what the family is going through. I also want to say thank you to our police department. We had 7 officers that were taken from the scene and treated for smoke inhalation for doing more than heroic work to try and put out the fire, try to have a better outcome. So I have to tell you, that was probably one of the most frightening pieces of information I got, is that 7 of our police officers were potentially injured and not knowing for several hours how they were. As a trustee, that was probably one of my most frightening moments. So I just want to say thank you to the police department and to the fire department. I can't imagine what our first responders saw that night, and that's something that will stay with them for a very long time. This coming weekend, I know we got a lot of things going on Saturday. On Sunday, the Women's Club, we approved a Women's Club raffle license. The Women's Club is doing one of their annual fundraisers, and it's their biggest fundraiser of the year. They're doing a purse auction over at the American Legion Post on Gary Avenue from 1 to 3. It is a great time. It really is. So if you have nothing going on, men are allowed to come and shop for the women. There's going to be purses, and there'll be jewelry and a lot of camaraderie from the community. So please stop by and join the Women's Club on Sunday from 1 to 3 over at the American Legion Post. Speaking of the Herrera family, there's a lot of things that the community is coming together to pull together to help the family. One thing that is being organized by the community is a candlelight vigil on Thursday night, this coming Thursday at 7:30. We don't have a lot of the details because it's still being planned, but from what we've been able to learn, there is going to be a very large candlelight vigil at Armstrong Park at the accident site on Mohican Drive. We would just ask that anyone who attend, please be aware of traffic, parking, utilize parking at Roy DeShane School or in the Armstrong Park parking lot, walk across the park. Please just be aware, there's going to be a lot of people in that area, and please drive carefully. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee Frizzaloni. Trustee McCarthy.
I also want to send my condolences to the Herrera family. I literally also can't imagine what they're going through. But I do want to thank the police department and the first responders, the fire department, for doing what you always do, which is trying to save a life. So thank you to all of you. And also the neighbors at the site. A number of them came out and beat the first responders there because, I mean, it happened so fast. And they were out there trying to do what they could to help. And it just kind of shows the community we are, that people jump in to help. And I kind of posted on Facebook. I'm proud of our community, but not surprised how many people have came together to support that family, and it's heartwarming, but it's not a surprise. So we live in a wonderful community and full of a lot of great people. So with that, again, my condolences to the family. Also, now we're moving seasons again, getting towards fall, which means it gets darker a little bit quicker, a little earlier. Slow down in your cars. Look out for kids darting from behind cars or from driveways and wherever else. Us as automobile drivers, we have to take the responsibility. Yeah, the bike riders and stuff should be, but they're kids, and sometimes kids make poor decisions. So we got to be the ones looking out for them. And while we're at it, let's make sure to stop at crosswalks. That we still need some work on that. And then the last thing is, again, with the seasons changing, which means we could get a lot of rain. while the weather's still good, a good time to go check out your storm sewers out and about around your house and make sure they're clear. This way, if we do get a heavy rain, water flows a lot quicker and it doesn't get slowed down and start filling the streets. So if you get a moment when you're doing your yard work, please do that, and please do not blow leaves and grass out onto the street. With that, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, trustee McCarthy. Madam Clerk?
I just also wanted to express my condolences to the Herrera family. I, like everybody else has said, could not even imagine the heartbreak that they are dealing with right now. Also, another aspect that the community came together is they put together GoFundMe GoFundMe page to help with the services and whatnot, and it's taken off. And it really does show how much our community cares about one another. People who've never even met this family have given, and even local businesses have donated so that all the food was donated for the services and whatnot. So it's just absolutely heartwarming to see the community come together for this family. I just can't imagine what they're going through. And also just prayers and thoughts for everybody going through the hurricane. And hopefully, everybody comes out unscathed or at least lightly impacted as much as possible. And just please keep military and first responders in your hearts and minds. As you can see, they have a very dangerous job at times, and they need your prayers as well as our military. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rhodes, our village attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the date of the next board meeting, I will be attending the International Municipal Lawyers Association meeting, so I will not be present for that meeting. But Mallory will be here filling in, and I told her she needs to have a nice long report for you guys. And then the only other thing is, as everyone is indicating, my condolences to the Herrera family.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Mr. Miller, our village manager.
Yes, oftentimes staff will get asked either on social media or in person what we are doing to control costs of the village, and what are we doing to bring businesses into Carroll Stream. Tonight, the village board approved award of contract for the purchase and delivery of 300 LED lights for about $40,000. That amount was $10,000 under the budgeted amount. Also, through Phil Moda, our Public Works Director, and their efforts, we were able to get a ComEd energy efficiency grant of a little over $26,000. So our final cost for the 300 LED streetlights was about $13,700. So we're trying to be as efficient, cost-effective as possible, and Public Works staff will also be installing the fixtures as opposed to having an outside contractor install them.
And Bob?
Yes.
Those, using those bulbs will also save us money,
Correct.
energy.
Yes, yeah, they're more energy efficient, they'll last a lot longer. And actually, the LED lights that we originally had installed on some of our streets, they were the first generation, and they proved defective. So Phil and Public Works were able to contact the manufacturer and get them replaced for free, and the original ones were under a 5-year or a 3-year, 5-year warranty. The new ones have a 10-year warranty, so. The next item that the village board approved tonight was an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Wheaton. It's a revenue sharing agreement which will result in the city of Wheaton de-annexing the northeast corner of Schmale and Geneva Road. Right now, there is a business there, but it's underperforming and it doesn't generate much revenue for the city of Wheaton. So we negotiated with them through the efforts of the mayor of Carroll Stream and Mayor Cease from Wheaton and staff. And the developer now will be able to consolidate the properties. We will share the revenue based on the percentage of land that's currently in Wheaton, which is about 45%, and about 55% in Carroll Stream. So we'll get 55% of the revenue from that development. And any businesses that developed on the outskirts of that development, Village of Carroll Stream will get 100% of those revenues. So that took about a year and a half to do. So, I mean, when people talk about economic development, they generally take a year and a half to 2 years. It's not a quick move, but we're thankful that they agreed to do that. Just want to congratulate Officers Staffy, Turnhold, Egan, and Sergeant Cleaver. They were selected to receive the Mad Hero Award given to officers by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Our police department had 4 individuals selected to receive the award out of 30 officer award recipients in the entire state. So that's a pretty good ratio. We had a pretty high percentage. The award ceremony will be in October in Chicago. And then, as many residents know, we are looking at alternate revenues for the village. We will be hosting an informational and question and answer forum on September 30th at 9 a.m. in the morning and one at 6 p.m. in the evening to talk about property taxes and any questions that residents have. We've been getting a lot of feedback on social media and some at our board meetings, so we wanted to have 2 meetings for people that work different shifts, make it as available as possible for people to attend. And then the final comment I wanted to make is we had a staff meeting this afternoon. Apparently there's been some talk on social media from residents that are getting high water bills. And I was talking to our finance director, John Baytek. Apparently that's fairly historical in August, which typically are our driest seasons of the month, our driest month. People tend to water their lawns. I know I had cracks in my yard. People like to see their lawns green, which they were most of the summer, but during the drought of August, they turn brown. So it's all due to the higher usage. It's not because of any leaks in the system or to the AMRs or anything like that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mueller. You covered a lot of ground, some of which I was intending on covering, but that's good. Thank you. Well, I felt obligated today to go over and talk to the Herrera family. Those of you that know, I lost a son. My wife and I lost a son, so I understand, and I wanted to try and make them feel like I understood as the mayor. I know how the board feels. I've been following everybody on the board. Thank you all for everything you're doing. The police department, thank you for the way you handled that. On Friday night, I mean, they ended up in the hospital with smoke inhalation to try and save that young man in the car. That's commendable, believe me. Thank you. That's what our police department is about. It's not just about writing tickets like everybody thinks. I did get to spend the time with Mrs. Herrera, her oldest son, the 19-year-old, and one of the neighbors. And anybody that could reach out, whatever they're doing for the family, please do. I think probably more than anything, they need prayers. I don't care if you don't pray, that's up to you. But I mean, if you do pray, say a prayer. It doesn't matter who you pray to, but say something for them. Because they're going really through a tough time right now. We've been there. This is the anniversary of my son's 9th. This is his 9th year that he passed, and he graduated from Glenbard North, as their son would have graduated from Glenbard North. I just felt obligated to go there and just sit with the family and talk. And they were very appreciative and made some comments about the village and how open everybody has been with them and how helpful everybody's been with them, and the food train and everything is just like, oh, they're overwhelmed with the kindness. And I said to her, that's why I live here. I mean, that's why I live in this town, because of the people. Yeah, there's some good people, there's some bad people, there's wherever you go. But in this town, when your back is to the wall, they'll be there. Whatever it is, floods, fire, windstorms, I don't care what it is. In this case, most of the people that are giving money and trying to do things for the family don't even know the family. They're doing it. They're strangers, people that live at the other end of town. they just feel obligated because inside, they probably really know what the family's going through. I know exactly what they're going through, believe me, and it's going to be tougher for them this weekend when they have the memorial. It'll be tough Thursday for them. It'll be tougher on Saturday. And they're going to need a lot of support from our social service department and our police department and any of us that get involved or any of their neighbors. So please, if you do anything, reach out to them, try to help them. The GoFundMe page, when I talked to her today, the car that was demolished was hers. And one of the things her son always wanted was a Jeep. And she plans on replacing the car that's demolished with the Jeep in memory of her son. And I understand that, believe me, I tell you. So, I mean, so if the GoFundMe page is still working, we got to try and raise enough money so she can go get the Jeep, because they ain't going to take a trade-in on the car that got demolished, so. But again, thanks to all the first responders, our police department, again, thank you. I would have been at the hospital had I known sooner. I did call the chief, told me to stay home. Said everything's under control. He's got it. Most of them were released already. I feel obligated, as probably most of us up here do, that we're all one family, the police department, social service department, public works department. Every department in this whole village is like one big family. We all work together, and we all suffer at times together when we're doing budgets, how we have to cut and what we have to do to try and make things work with what we have. But we make it work. And again, thanks to the board, and thank you to the staff for all you're doing, and keep the Herrera family in your prayers, please. Everybody covered everything, so with that, motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Frusloni. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Zalick?
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Giesert?
Aye.
Trustee Frusloni?
Aye.
Trustee Shorsey?
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
I said I might